You're listening to Bedroom Beethovens, where notable music makers break down stories accompanied by songs and melodies documenting growth through their 10,000 hour journey. And me? Well, my name is Cello, your host.
I am a bedroom Beethoven.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 75 of the podcast. My guest this week is...
I go by the name of Drumma Boy, aka D-Boy Freshman, Grammy Award-winning producer. Produced Look at My Dad for the Migos, No Hands for Waka Flocka, We Poppin', NBA Youngboy featuring Birdman, Money to Blow, Drake, I'm Rhyme Round, I'm Getting It, 2 Chainz, I Put On for My City, Jeezy, Kanye, Shawty, Plies, No Love, August Alsina featuring Nicki Minaj. List goes on and on, man. Definitely a pleasure to be here.
Ooh, aka the Cafeteria King.
AKA the Cafeteria King, man. My brother.
No, I'm not your man, you're not my girl. I'ma call you my shawty. I can't stand to see you treated bad. I beat his ass for my shawty. And we ain't did nothing that we ain't supposed to do, 'cause you my baby girl, you know I be home.
Drumma Boy, prolific super producer in the house. He's got 2 new singles, Burn and Still Can't Believe It, with Scott Storch. 100% of the proceeds from streaming and downloads will go to various organizations that bail out protesters. Longevity in the music industry takes more than simply talent and stamina. It takes skill, adaptability, and a certain alchemy gifted to a chosen few. It's no secret that multi-platinum music producer Drumma Boy sits at the nexus of all 5. So if we're talking having an ear for making hits, this is the one. We chat about his 10,000 hour journey through Memphis, ATL, and how he feels like the best is yet to come. But before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know that if you want more of the podcast, just search Bedroom Beethovens where you get your podcast, or visit bedroombeethovens.com. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and of course, and always, patreon.com/bedroombeethovens is where you can donate to the show. Episode 75 with Drumma Boy from Texas to Memphis. Let's get it. So this is how I personally view you, because when you talk to like my parents, they're going to tell you, oh, you know, I grew up with Tina Turner and the Isley Brothers. But I realize that for the new generation, your music is the music of this generation. I'm 35 years old. I remember right when I graduated college at 22, your track with Plies was like the hottest thing out. And now my 5-year-old daughter is watching Megan Thee Stallion TikToks, and now she's hearing that song for the first time.
Yep, it's crazy, man. That's one of Megan's favorite songs, and just seeing how things have progressed with the music industry, and just how many people are sampling my music, and just a fan of my music. Even seeing No Hands go gold again in the year of 2019 alone. It was just like, damn, like that's what happens when you're making timeless music. And I'm 36, so I was in the game as a baby. Like, I'm 18 years in the game and really was doing this at 18. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother, Insane Wayne, R.I.P. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy the progress that I've made from then to now. And I feel like I'm just now getting started.
Ooh, and you know, it gets even crazier because last week you and DJ Toon for Chillin', you both had a track on that album. So a decade and a half later, y'all can still get in the same room and create hits for a whole other generation.
Absolutely. And this is the first time that we actually collaborated together, man. It's a lot of people. You might be in the business. They say it takes 10 years to really establish yourself. And it's crazy the people you know, you meet, and you start joking around with them after 15 years of knowing them and like, hey, man, we ain't never worked together. I mean, we worked together, but we ain't worked together. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So just having jokes with Toomp and like, man, let's do some stuff. Even Zaytoven, man. The Burn track, we put Pastor Troy, David Banner, Sci-Hi the Prince, Torre, Nucci, and Razcast all on one song called Burn. That just dropped today too. So it's just amazing. I did that track with Zaytoven and Toomp, and it's just crazy what we've the outcome and the feedback that we're getting on that record.
Yeah, it's like you just mentioned, like I feel like I'm just getting started again. And I want to ask you something. Is producing music like being an athlete? Like maybe when you're 40 years old, like you're in the NBA, you won't be in your prime, but you're still able to craft up some heat. It just may take you longer to get off the line. For instance, making the Put On beat for Jeezy in 30 minutes, and then it goes on to be 2-time multi-platinum. You just achieved a level of success that most people strive for their entire lives in the span of one Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. It's definitely been a blessing. I've had great management. I've had great contractual lawyers, and that has really helped me to solidify myself, be consistent, and still have some money saved up, man, to with last and to keep doing things that you want to do to stay relevant.
That's good advice. And when you played basketball in high school, you made the music that the team came out to. So I imagine Put On was like an NBA version of the shit you used to make for your high school team.
Exactly. Put On, it was inspired by the Chicago Bulls theme song.
Ooh, and then you produced the Grizzlies halftime show. So talk about manifested destiny right there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, just Memphis Grizzlies. I remember when they came to Memphis. I remember when we got that opportunity to have a basketball team, and I was like, man, like I always looked up to Spike Lee. I was like, man, I'm gonna be the Spike Lee of our city, man. I'm gonna be the Spike Lee. You know what I'm saying? I was like one of the youngest, first black African-American ticket holders, season ticket holder on the wood floor, you know what I'm saying? And I was down there for like 5 years. But it's crazy. I was like, man, I can't be like Spike now, though. I can't, I will not spend how much did he spend? 40 million in tickets? Like, yeah. Jesus, bro. You know how many movies Spike could have done with that? So I was like, let me be smart about this. In the year that I let my tickets go, they paid me to perform at the halftime show. So I was like, okay, see, now the ball's changing. Now I'm getting checks from the FedEx form. You know what I mean? Now they paying me, you feel?
Maybe you can score one of Spike Lee's next films and you'll be sitting right next to him courtside.
Hey, that'll be classic.
So you grew up with music. Do you know the story behind why your father gravitated towards the clarinet out of all the instruments?
I do not know that story. That's crazy. You really did some digging.
Well, how about this? How does this suave, debonair, clarinet-playing pimp catch the eyes of an opera singer?
That story came from my older brother. So my older brother, we got different fathers. So my older brother was taking saxophone lessons, and the saxophone teacher is right next door to the clarinet teacher, which is my dad. So then the teacher is missing one day, so my dad is there. My mom introduces herself to him and was like, well, hey, maybe you can give him clarinet lessons until the saxophone teacher comes back. And they ended up meeting each other, blah, blah, blah. And then there came me.
Oh, but he was a maniac, right? His clarinet was an extension of himself, sun up to sundown. He would be practicing, performing. Was he good at work-life balance, or was music first, above God, above family? Like music was his mistress?
Music was his mistress for sure. You know what I mean? No question. And my mom and dad divorced when they had me. So, it was a tricky situation. And, I grew up in South Memphis, Black Haven, as well as Orange Mound. And then in 13, I got in a little trouble. I almost killed somebody with my clarinet case, you know what I mean? And had to move to Cordova. So it was like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in a sense of, got in a little trouble. Your mom got scared. So you moving with Bel-Air. But I moved to Cordova, which was like the suburbs. And at this time, this is before Wolf Chase Mall. Germantown Parkway was a 2-lane street. Like it was nothing in Germantown, in Cordova and Germantown, really. Like, you know what I mean? Now it's just popping.
Well, I was thinking, like, I think your grandfather was a principal. Maybe he had like all of his peers, his principal buddies keeping tabs on you no matter where you went.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. My grandfather was a principal in D.C. So, it's two, that's way in D.C. And now he has a middle school named after him, General James Golson Middle School, right next to the FedEx Stadium in D.C. And it's crazy. DC and Memphis both have a FedEx Arena.
That's crazy. And you know what? You mentioned Orange Mound. That's a city that was the first African American neighborhood in the history of America to be built by and for African Americans.
Oh, wow.
That's where 8 Ball and MJG met.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we're talking about a city that had black entrepreneurs building black businesses being supported by their own black community. That's the same shit that Nipsey Hussle, same shit that Killer Mike's doing. It's the same thing that you're doing with House of Fresh. And now you get the key to the city, man. It's full circle.
For sure, man. House of Fresh, definitely follow the Instagram at House of Fresh ATL. So it's definitely dope, man. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have the store and to turn it around the way we have with the fashion and to deliver the fashion that we have to all of these different celebrities in the community of Atlanta.
What's even crazier is your father is the first ever African American man to hold the first chair position in the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. So there is a lot of history there. And I'm not Ancestry.com or anything, but I was curious. And if I type in your last name and I type in Orange Mound on the first page of Google, there's a report almost 90 years old that states that a homicide report for June Porter, that he was killed by Jab Peebles on May 31st, 1931. And he accidentally shot Peebles when he tried to shoot someone named Wade Golson over money during a craps game. So I'm not sure if Wade is related to you, but it seems your family was into some gangster stuff even 90 years ago.
Hey, we definitely been into some shit. That's for sure. I think that's anybody, man. I think that goes back in the history of every family, every human, every individual. I mean, you know how it goes.
Well, I mean, so still in high school, you met Yo Gotti, right? So you're familiar with Garland Street in North Memphis.
Absolutely. Garland Street, Ridge Crest is where he came up, you know what I'm saying? And that's more like the Bolton Highway 64 area. So you got Raleigh, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Millington. And then Raleigh and Millington is more like north of the south of Tennessee. You know what I mean? So it's like North Memphis. You always hear Yo Gotti like, I'm from North Memphis. I'm from the north. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, Millington, Raleigh, Bolton, all of that is like north of Memphis.
Yeah, I appreciate that because I didn't know much about Memphis at the time when the Life tape came out. The reason why it reached the ears of me in my Texas high school was because Lil Flip was on that tape, and at the time, Lil Flip was like the hottest thing. But he was hopping on Yo Gotti. He was hopping on Riding Spinners with 3-6, and he was collaborating more with these Memphis people than Texas. So it kind of created this rift. But that was my introduction to you. And I watched that Life DVD that he came out with, and it's funny because he's wearing, like, if you go back and watch it, he's wearing like a size XXL jacket, talking next to Watkins about, hey, this house right here is where we made them bricks and where we make them hundreds, and we in the streets, this is how we living. And then they interview his mom, and his mom's like, man, I went from boosting and selling drugs. And then if you watch the Complex magazine video a few years ago, he's talking all proper. He's got chains. His clothes fit him. His circle's only 3 guys instead of 17. He's driving around in a Porsche and a Phantom. And it's this magnificent transformation from this young, hungry kid trying to sell CDs out his trunk to getting 200 million YouTube hits with Lil Baby. And you had a pivotal part in not only becoming successful yourself, but think of all the people that you helped. Like, it wouldn't be a complete reach to say that you helped Yo Gotti's mom stop selling drugs so now her boy can take care of her, and his auntie, his whole family, based on a tape that you helped him.
I got pictures with his mom. I just posted a picture of his mama not too long ago.
Wearing that sparkly dress and her hair's all done. I mean, that's a come up.
Yeah. Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, but with Miss Mims, man, at that event, and it's just like, whew.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Just looking at how me and Gotti came up together, man, like the Inevitable Entertainment days. You know what I'm saying? I did 4 tracks on Life. My brother, Insane Wayne, who I keep talking about, R.I.P., he did 4 tracks on Life album, and my producer Swizzo, he did 4 tracks on Life album. So we practically did the whole project. Slice T did the rest of it.
Yo, I fuck niggas up when I jumped in the game. Young dudes land.
You know what I mean? And just coming from that, even on the next album, Back to the Basics, I do That's What's Up. When you see me shout it, pop your collar, then you holler, that's what's up.
All I ever wanted to do was
make some music like you know. But these niggas tried to ball the block. Took something that nigga got the game on lock.
Bro, these is like anthems. This was like everything to really put me on in the streets. You know what I'm saying? This, when I met Jeezy, that's the first thing Jeezy brought up was like, hey man, that shit you and Yo Gotti on, that's that shit. Boy, he talking that shit. You know what I mean? And Gotti was like the first motherfucker who really talked that like that from the South, from our generation. You know what I mean? So to me, that was the first trap rapper I worked with, period, before I even got to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Before T.I., before Gucci. You know what I mean? Before Jeezy. Yo Gotti was the first trap rapper, period.
And I don't need to tell you about Lil Keke and Slim Thug before he signed with Star Trek and did songs with Jay-Z. I mean, these are like South legends, you know, the Boss Hogg Outlaws. So you had a hand in that with Bun B, UGK, etc. So a lot of people, they might focus just on your mainstream hits, but they don't realize like just the legends that you work with, underground or not.
Absolutely. Scarface, Never, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Stacking Paper, featuring Jody Breeze. You know, it's so many records. That Never record that I did for Scarface, like New York, that's when New York like took me in. Like, oh, he can make beats. Oh, he can sample. Oh, this, like, you know what I mean? So it was something to get out of the trap world to show my versatility. Like, I arrange, compose, and write. Like, I can play orchestra, jazz, orchestral. You know what I mean? We can do trap. Like, I just go off emotion. If I see it and I feel it, I create it. So when I'm in the trap every day with my bro, or over here in South Memphis, or behind the Dodge chicken store, or wherever I'm at, this was the trap. Trap was a location, and it was what I saw that helped me paint that picture and create a sound that we didn't even have a name for. We just had a location. So it kind of just became trap because that's where we was making this shit, in the trap. You know what I mean? And that's what people, when you see something, like you seeing what's going on in the trap, you paint that picture musically. And then that music emotionally talks to that rapper and tells him what to say.
Because you have producers like Madlib and Ninth Wonder that still use the old beat machines, but you embrace the technology. Like, why would I spend 20 hours doing something when I can use new technology and do it in 10 seconds? But at the same time, like you said, you're not a one-dimensional trap producer. You crate dig. So you're like a 65 Cadillac with modern interior, the best of both worlds.
Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? It's like that old school classic with the new engine, the new exhaust pipes, the new rims, you know what I mean? The leather interior, whatnot, you know what I mean? So it's custom. You can customize to whatever you like. If you want the Ferrari with the old school inside, you know what I mean? We can do some shit like that, bro. It's no limit. If you want to build a whole new vehicle, and we call that shit the Tesla, we call that shit the this or that. Look how many new vehicles are coming into the game. You know what I mean? So it's no limit. Don't just settle for Ford or Honda or Mazda. Like, I'm going to create my own shit. And bam, here comes trap. Now, 20 years later, we on the verge of creating some new shit, man. Just stay tuned.
Well, how'd that come about? The sample for Scarface's Never was Ronnie Dyson's Sarah Smile, a track from 1977. And the sample you used was within the first 10 seconds. So were you just digging and there was something about that record that grabbed you?
Yeah, a lot of times the best part of the sample usually comes from the intro or the outro, because all of the drums, all of the percussion, all of the big band shit hadn't come in yet. So it's enough room to kind of take that, and then I can put my own drums on it. Sometimes it might come in the middle of the song, or the bridge of the song, or the end, the outro of the song. But, you know, I'm just a crate digger. I take what's dope. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. If it's dope, I'm going to snatch it. I was going through my mom's records, and I found that little clip.
You as a person, you felt like you outgrew Memphis, and by moving to ATL, you found a second wave of success. Is that a formula that you think works for you, or should Fraser Boy or Project Pat or Little White, should they have done the same thing so they could have lent their talent to a bigger crowd, or that's what just worked for you?
So many people get caught up in what people think, And I've never been there. I don't give a fuck what you think. I know where I'm born. I know where I'm bred. I know where I'm raised. And I throw up an M on every fucking picture in every place I go. So I rep Memphis till I'm fucking gone. And the city know that. And as far as giving back, community efforts, philanthropies, and just so many educational events that we've done for the city to enlighten and enhance and upgrade. And you know what I mean? Like, bro, I've exhausted all of my energy into my city of Memphis all the time. And that will never stop. You know what I mean? Regardless of where I'm at. If I see a city and I can play major league basketball here, and if I feel like I'm playing underground basketball in Memphis, I'm finna go play with the major leagues, my nigga. And as soon as I got to Atlanta, bam, Jeezy, Gucci, Pastor Troy, Rick Ross, Birdman, Boys in the Hood, Drake, 2 Chainz. Like, come on, how it's like, okay, it was a good 100 people to work with in Memphis. Guess what? It was about 10,000 motherfuckers to work with in Atlanta. So I'm gonna make more money. And you know me, I'm a businessman. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go with the major shit going on there. And then we still pipeline that shit. That's the difference between me, because I'm getting money in Atlanta, but I'm pipelining that shit back to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of when Dolph needed me, Kinfolk Thugs was calling me. You know what I'm saying? That's the first folk who told me about Dolph. Kinfolk Thug. Hey man, I'm telling you, man, Dolph the next nigga. Hey shit, let's get it. We give them the blueprint, tell them what to do. Woo. This live mixtape thing popping. Woo. We come with Welcome to Dolph World. High class street music, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, nigga, gelato, motherfucking bosses and shooters. Man, every rapper, I tell rappers all the time, man, drop 30 motherfucking tapes and see where you at after 30 tapes. Motherfuckers be happy about 1 tape, 2 tape, 3 tape. Oh, that's cool. That's some R&B shit. You want to be this rap shit, you want to do some rap shit, man, you're going to have to be about 30 to 100 tapes deep. Period. I watched Dolph go from 40 grand to fucking almost 40 million. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, the same thing with Moneybagg Yo, same thing with Gotti. You know what I'm saying? Black boy youngster. I mean, black youngster. You know what I'm saying? Just watching it, seeing it, even with 2 Chainz. Watching it, seeing it, even with Jeezy, even with Tip. I've seen it from the bottom go to the top, time again. Okay, we got a new artist, Drake. From the bottom, I seen it. His first music ever we did was Money to Blow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen it. Even 2 Chainz, like, switch, hey man, the titty boy thing, man, woo, man. I just feel like, man, you know what I mean? DTP ain't doing all it can for me, woo. Like, you know what I'm saying? The frustration, the vibe. Okay, the name change. All right, bet, let's do True Religion. I do. Walk in and I turn up, round, I'm getting it, and Boo. Boo and round, I'm getting it. Both hit the top 100 Billboard.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they get into their feelings about it. But look here, Juicy J wouldn't have got on a Katy Perry record if he would have stayed where he was.
Man, facts. Big facts.
I'm going to ask a question that I know that has been asked before, but I'm going to put a little twist on it so you don't get too tired of it. I know there was a situation where you're contributing to someone like Gucci and Jeezy, but they don't necessarily get along. Now, Gucci and Beethoven were creating music every day. Jeezy was the new hot guy. Beethoven went home and made a beat for So Icy. Artists get jealous and they try to pull you into drama. Like, hey man, don't do a beat for that guy. You're making hits for me. Like, how do you deal with that? Like, what do you do when T.I. takes a beat that was made for Twista and T.I. goes double platinum off a beat you made for Twista? Can fast friends turn into sword feelings when money's involved?
For the most part, man, these guys in Atlanta be happy to see other guys win. And I think that's one of the key ingredients to Atlanta's success, as opposed to North Memphis don't like South Memphis and East Memphis don't like West Memphis and this artist beefing with this artist. I think you're seeing the most successful music scene in Memphis today because of the example that Atlanta has set, as well as myself starting a unification process called Welcome to My City. When I dropped Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and now we're working on Welcome to My City, Volume 4. I have encouraged every young man in the city of Memphis, man, to unify and to come together and to support each other. And that is the way we will see the ultimate riches. The hate is going to keep keeping us low and underground. You know, that I have been a pioneer for that, along with motivation from guys like Minister Farrakhan and Martin Luther King being killed in our city, and just saying, man, at some point this has got to stop. Seeing where we are today in the history of time is historical. The fact that I'm alive, the fact that I'm young, vibrant, and able to make music for my fans and to deliver to my people and my peers is priceless, man. You know what I mean? So I honestly, I still can't believe it. Like, that's my emotion. Seriously, that's my hashtag. That's my mood. Still can't believe it. And here it is. The song is cleared, and we get the song released today on a day like Juneteenth. So it's crazy, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow my Instagram at Drumma Boy Fresh. Make sure you follow my clothing store at House of Fresh ATL. The record label at Drum Squad Records. Follow our DJ coalition at Drum Squad DJs. And check out my clothing line at Fresh Family, man. Fresh Family spelled PHAMILY. Follow our YouTube channel, Drum Squad TV. Subscribe.
I also heard the Still Can't Believe It single, and I get it, man. You on the drums, Scorch on the keys. It's beautiful.
So it was amazing collabing with Scott Storch. I just made a post where we interviewed him, and we used a little clip that he said or spoke about me. So y'all check that out in my last post at Drumma Boy Fresh.
Oh, man. Drumma Boy podcast coming soon, I bet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned.
Well, I mentioned Beethoven because we got the Burn single.
Burn is just what's going on in the city, man, for real. Like, Wendy's got burned down by, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the protest going on here. Like, I'm in it. I have just recently voted and got caught in the protest. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so many epic moments that motivate you. And, like, again, you make music around what you see. At least I do.
Yeah,
I make music around what I see. I'm a very emotional producer. So if I'm around protests, if I'm around killing and anger and hate, I'm gonna make music that matches that emotion.
Well, can I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
Cops, especially today, they're not America's favorite occupation right now. And I think this modern civil rights movement is opening ignorant people's eyes to police corruption and how they force their will on people. I want to ask you, it took a year for your brother's killer to get justice. Do you feel like the police did everything in their power to close that case, or were you a bit disgruntled?
Oh, I think the FBI did everything. You know, FBI, different ball game. This we talking federal, so it's a little bit different than the police. You know, I don't you know, detectives, again, is a whole different ball game than police. You know what I mean? They work for the APD, but I think what detectives do and what the FBI does is a little bit different.
Well, you're a God-fearing man. Did you forgive him?
Damn, bro, that's the first. You asking some tight questions, bro. I haven't. But I haven't even thought about it. So we're not even there yet. Like, the trial is still open. We haven't even went to trial for this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
That's understandable. Well, I want to give a RIP to your big brother, Insane Wayne. I know he had 4 kids. I know you're probably a great uncle. I know the whole situation is just tragic. And I think your knee-jerk reaction was to distract yourself from the pain or deal with the pain by, hey, I'm going to be like my dad, man. I'm going to put in 16 hours in the studio. But you kind of decided to kind of take a year off from releasing music. So what did that time off allow you to do to where you were ready to come back full force a year later?
It allowed me to water my relationships and to understand family. You know what I mean? And to really understand what's important. Like, I can make a beat anytime. Like, just like riding bikes, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Music don't control my life. Music don't run my life. And that's the difference. Like, it's certain points where I used to be worried about my dad. Like, yo, you don't care about shit. You know what I mean? It's a lot of moments that might have been missed with me when I was a kid, or certain basketball games, and I might have wanted him at that. You know what I'm saying? He, you know what I mean, chose to do other things or be other places. You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference with me, is just wanting to be there, wanting to, you know, have a personal life and be happy personally. Like, how can you just be happy business-wise or career-wise, but you have no personal? I mean, and you learn a lot about that through Quincy Jones in his autobiography, you know, his documentary as well. So I've seen so many other people, you know, kind of, you know, take advantage of time that we have, especially while we're young. and enjoying life. You know what I mean? So it was good to kind of get all of those things, and I've had some amazing people around me that was able to show me love to so I really know what real and genuine love feel like. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, in the music industry, everything fake. Everybody wants something. Only reason these people cool with you because you pop. Only reason these people cool with you because you got this or you got that, or you can do this for them. You provide opportunities. You know what I mean? So the personal is so much more genuine than the music industry, and I think that's what helps keep you grounded and allow you to attack the career even better.
Yeah, I hope by you talking with me, you feel that I'm genuine, because I know, you got people who use your presence for notoriety. Hey, wear my shirt on Instagram, promote this, promote that. But the fact that you're here means a lot, because I know how valuable of a commodity your time is, and I recognize it. And giving away some of these gems for free when you could write a book behind the hits, or that you could publish and release at any point, there's value in these stories as well. So
the book is on the way, and it's titled Behind the Hits, already written, going through editorial stages right now. It's crazy you say that. So we are definitely on aligned, so to speak, man. I always post 11-11. So you sound like you could be of the 11-11 caliber.
I appreciate that, man. I'm just a fan, and I know we're a ways off from the album, but it's going to be a cruel winter. I think December 19th is the date still.
Yes, sir. December 19th. We're pushing it. I'm aiming to it. I'm sticking to it. I like to give myself a date, a goal, so I can really attack and be under pressure, so to speak. So yeah, that's what I'm beating myself up about, man. Pushing for December 19th.
I appreciate you, your music, the whole nine, brother, man. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.